Welcome to Destination Linux, the West world of open source awakening, where every commit shatters the maze of proprietary loops. Straight out of the parks, sun-baked simulations. I'm your Bernard Lowe this week, Ryan, scripting the Linux narrative with my fellow host turned rebel, ready to rewrite the code that binds us. Jill is our Dolores Abernathy, poetic animation professor, dreamer with a vintage PC, reverie, unraveling UX narratives faster than she can whisper. These violent delights have violent ends to a glitching host. Man, that's deep, Jill.
Oh, I was the first of us. The first that worked.
I see you're a fan of Westworld.
Yes.
And Jill's creed, if it's not open source, it's just the Delos board endless loop of control. This week's Uprising, we're jacking into Reins, the self-hosted Llama chat interface. That's your private sleeve for AI sovereignty. Discussing Ryan's own tech adventures. His fault? Or did tech fail him? Definitely tech failed him. We also will be fielding a listener's plea for Sandfly installation video to debug those network ghosts and spotlighting Canonical's new certification program to level up your IT host status and venturing into eerie code of Darkenstein, a 3D horror game that'll make your rig question its own reality. Plus more echoes from the valley beyond. So load your narrative, sync your repos, and remember, in open source, we don't just play the game. We become the gods of our own story. These violent delights, let's ignite them. This is Destination Linux.
So in our community feedback this week, we received feedback from John, who says, "Hi, Jill, Ryan, and Michael. I just wanted to point out that I think you all rock." Aw, thank you so much. Yes, this does include Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Finally. I like John. John's
Yes.
a good one. John's a keeper.
I left a comment on the YouTube video, but wanted to get my thoughts out there. I would love to see a tutorial on actually installing and using Sandfly on your system. This would be helpful for a lot of people, including myself. I think that this is becoming something that should be best practice, and I am interested in trying out the service. Thanks for the great information, and I enjoyed the interview. Aw.
Awesome. Awesome feedback. What do you think, Jill?
Oh, this is awesome, John. And yeah, last week we talked with Brandon, and maybe Brandon and Bill will be putting out a Sandfly video on how to.
This crazy idea too, Jill, on this that I can't announce here, but we're going to talk to the CEO of Sandfly. In fact,
Yes.
Hopefully we'll have them on the next show to give us a security update, or the show after that. We'll have them on soon, and I'll drop it to them. And if we can get it approved, we'll get it announced there. And it'll be super cool thing for the community. And I think a lot of people will get to see the joys of Sandfly. Now, Sandfly also has an amazing blog out there, and it's completely worth subscribing to and checking out. It has latest security news. It talks about all the different rootkits and things out there to watch out for. So even if you've not decided to go get a subscription to Sandfly yet for your security, definitely subscribe to their blog. You're going to learn a ton about it, and you never know how things change. You may get into a business or a situation where knowing all about Sandfly is going to help you out, make you look impressive in front of the board by having a solution right there that's completely agentless for them. They even have a presentation from the Oslo Cold Incident Response Conference in 2025 on their blog right now that covered hunting for Linux stealth rootkits with command line tools. How fun is that? Because we know we all like to play in the terminal there. So,
yeah.
The other thing is you can try out their service. They have a $10 a month home lab edition. So even if you're not wanting to install it for business, and this is what kind of John's talking about, I think, is what could you do with your home lab with it? Which I think, based on all the things going on, security in the world, you definitely want something watching out for you. And if you use Destination 50, it's going to take that $10 to just $5 for that first month. So for $5, you can check out this awesome service for a month and see if it's something you want to run. Now, installing it actually isn't that difficult. It's agentless, so you need to put it like on a Podman, a separate virtual server, something along those lines. DigitalOcean even has it integrated into the DigitalOcean platform, so you can use it from there as well. And then you're going to basically SSHs into all of your different systems and services and routers and all of that, and runs all of its checks. And you get this really awesome, amazing dashboard that's going to tell you all kinds of different things like deviations, the SSH code, key tracking, all of that type of stuff out there. So really, really easy to sign up for. Not so difficult to set up either. I definitely wanted Brandon and Bill to do it because I know they have some really slick home servers, and I would like home labs as well. And I would like to see their opinion from the enterprise standpoint on this service. It's definitely something, though, that I think is fantastic for a home lab because there's just so many different ways people are basically skirting security right now and creating all kinds of chaos. So, Sandfly is awesome. John, thank you for the comment. Thank you for the suggestion. Hopefully we have the CEO on real soon, Craig, and we will see if we can get that special thing I'm thinking of going for the community. Then there's going to be a bunch of participation, maybe a prize. Just give it a look. We'll see. Awesome. We'll see. You never know. It may happen. It may not. It'll probably happen, but it may not. You don't know. Thank you for sending in your comments, John. If you want to send in your comments, go to destinationlinux.net/comments and destinationlinux.net/forum. Also want to mention, this is the first episode ever that Jill and I alone are doing the show.
Yay. I'm
and
so
to
excited.
Me, that's special.
Yeah, it's special to me to be with one of my best friends. And I've done a show with Michael before, but never Ryan.
Not only is Jill my best friend, she's my only friend. So that makes it easy for her to be my best friend. You don't really have competition there, Jill. But the interesting thing is we planned this. So we have people obviously that are amazing that would help us do the show. But Jill and I were talking. We're like, hey, we've never done one alone. Let's try it. So leave your feedback below. Let us know what you think if you enjoy it. And there you go. So our first show out of 441 episodes.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm the longest standing one left.
Yes, you are.
There. So we've had some hosts over the years. Fantastic hosts over the years, but I'm the longest standing. So that's my one creed there. All right. Speaking of Sandfly, as Linux users, we know what's up. Security is non-negotiable, but the threats keep getting smarter. Your security tools need to keep pace without dragging your system down. And traditional agents, they slow down and leave blind spots. And it's time for a smarter approach. That's why Destination Linux is proud to be sponsored by Sandfly Security, a revolutionary agentless platform, and is designed for Linux. Go to destinationlinux.net/Sandfly and see how Sandfly can transform your security strategy. Additionally, if you're running a business, Sandfly becomes even more imperative, and they have a free trial for you. Go check it out. See what we're talking about. Don't take our word for it, because Timothy Lisko of DigitalOcean says Sandfly is one of the most exciting pieces of security tech they've seen recently. They're excited to not only be a customer, so whole DigitalOcean is a customer of Sandfly, but also offer the integrated solution to their customers through the DigitalOcean marketplace. This technology addresses Linux security in a really novel and compelling way. So there you go. DigitalOcean used to be a sponsor. Absolutely love DigitalOcean. And they utilize the service, but you can also set up the service there on DigitalOcean for all of your instances there, which is an awesome use case for Sandfly. Sandfly doesn't just detect and respond, it revolutionizes security with SSH key tracking, password auditing, drift detection, covering threats from every angle, whether your systems are in the cloud, on-prem, or in embedded devices. Sandfly ensures they're all secure without the headaches of agent-based solutions. One of the things I realized, Jill, is that my router, when I moved, I had a very fancy system that was all set up enterprise level routers. And you could SSH into them, right? They had an SSH client. I moved to this other mesh system, which we're going to talk about in a second. And anyways, it was kind of a temporary solution that out of laziness, not really laziness because I got so much going on, but has become more permanent, and it has no SSH ability into it. And then I found out most routers don't. And I was, most consumer routers, I'm saying, don't have that option. And I was really bummed by that. I'm like, why would they not give you the option? They take away all these cool controls for you to be able to do your stuff. My system before was Ubiquity, and you could log in, you could SSH into that, which is cool because then I could take Sandfly and run it have it SSH into my Ubiquity router and basically have all of that, take control and secure it. So anyways, I've got to go spend the money and get the Ubiquity stuff. That's what I'm telling my wife that I have to, because otherwise we won't be secure. We won't have Sandfly. So that's, checking out a router.
You also need that for security for your new computer you're building.
Oh, yes. That is going to be so much fun. We're going to get into that in a second. Experience security that's not just effective, but gives you peace of mind. No agents, no downtime, just cutting edge protection out there.
The home edition of Sandfly Security is now available, and to all our listeners of Destination Linux, they have an incredible offer for you of 50% off if you use the discount code Destination50. Dive into the future of Linux security at destinationlinux.net/Sandfly. That's destinationlinux.net/SANDFLY, and see how Sandfly can transform your security strategy.
All right, Jill. So here's confession time. Like, one of the things that makes this show special is that we could be vulnerable to our community here. And so I'm going to go through some things that are kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to own up to them on this show because that's what we do.
Yes.
And I know everybody has their embarrassing tech stories, and I've got mine. And so first I want to start with, I've been having issues with my machine, and there have been a couple of different things going on. One of them has been random intermittent internet. Now, there's a lot going on out there in the internet, if you haven't noticed. So it was hard to know because of all the outages with AWS. There's been outages with AT&T all over the area that I'm in, and it's made the news and everything else. And then there was outages with AWS and AT&T together, compounding the issue, which, on a different note, kind of makes me thinking, is there something else going on here? Because it seems really weird that everything, and apparently Azure was down today, the day we're recording on Wednesday. Azure had a major outage today. So I'm like, I don't know if this is all a coincidence. This just seems too weird. But let me get back into the story. So I've been having these weird issues. And then when we were doing the show last week, I had some browser that would just, I think it was last week or the week before, where it just randomly just shut down entirely. I lost the whole browser. And after the show, I don't think it happened during the show. After the show, my system froze entirely. And I was like, oh my gosh, this hasn't happened in forever. Now, those of you who've been following me for a long time know on Hardware Addicts, I used to change my hardware out so much, there was never a chance for my hardware to go bad because it was always new. And I was just basically eBaying whatever parts, right, when something new was about to drop, so I could get it at its prime price and then buy a new thing. So it was kind of a rotating budget. It was probably more than just the initial budget of what I would get back, but it wasn't as expensive because I was just constantly selling old parts and using that money to get something new. Well, that hasn't been the case since COVID because everything got too dang expensive. So I've had this same system, I don't know, for 4+ years. Now, I know a lot of people are saying I've had my system for 15 years. Jill's probably got computers she's had for 30.
Yeah.
But to me, this belongs in a museum at this point. It's old. Yeah. It's an artifact. I want something new. But anyways, so I have my first hardware issue. And the first thing I do is run a mem test. And it fails. It fails bad. Like, it's just got errors thrown all over the place.
And I was thinking about that too. I think I even mentioned to you a few weeks ago, I wonder if your RAM is having issues.
Yep. And you called it.
Yeah.
And it was this RAM right here, this Trident Z. Now, it's been faithful, so this isn't a knock on Trident, but I mean, it went bad. So this Trident Z DDR4 RAM after 4+ years has bit the dust. G-Skill makes this particular brand. And so I had to go buy some new RAM. And being that in my house, if hardware breaks, it is a tech emergency.
Yes.
Everything else, kids going to school, if anybody's sick, doesn't matter. The most important thing is getting the computer healthy again. Then we can worry about everything else. Might be exaggerating that a little bit. So I did the same day. Thankfully, Amazon had same day delivery of some RAM. Got some RAM in there, and that's what I'm running right now. All right. So that solved my lockup issues. Run my mem test. Everything's good. Haven't had any issues. And I've been stress testing, even ran a game we're going to talk about and did some live streaming and stuff. Everything was running fantastic on that. But I'm still having these random issues with my network. And again, this is where things get a little embarrassing. We moved here. And one of the things when they set up is that this home is actually wired for Ethernet, which is really, really nice. I love having my home wired for Ethernet and not having to rely on Wi-Fi. Not every room has it, and they only made one of the outlets for Ethernet live. Now, I could very easily go and make all of them live, but I have not. But this is on my list of things to do. But I made one of them live, which is in this office, because this office is where I do all the live streaming, everything else. It's where we need the most live connection for Ethernet here. And then all the equipment and stuff sits downstairs. So then, everybody else needs Wi-Fi in the house, son for gaming, all this stuff. So I got a mesh system. And that's where all the Wi-Fi gets distributed. Yeah. Now, Jill, my computer was plugged in directly to the Ethernet. And then there were some things like the Home Lab Yellow that I got that use power over Ethernet. And I wanted that up here so I configure it. So I brought a switch up that has power over Ethernet. And I plugged the main Ethernet from the room. If you're following, you could write this out, make a diagram. And I plugged it into my switch. From my switch, I plugged then into my main computer. And then I have my NAS, Synology NAS. So then from the switch, Ethernet to my Synology NAS, right?
Yeah.
Something happens where I wanted some additional Ethernet on the other side of the room. So I moved a mesh unit up here on that desk that's on the other side you can't see. And because the mesh unit has several Ethernet ports on the back of it, additional ones. So I could have kind of a direct connect. And so I moved that, and plus it powers all the internet upstairs. And so I connected all the devices over there to it. And this was for my hacking lab. And then decided at some point, forgot that I had a live Ethernet cable here. And I was moving wires around. And I'm like, why is my mesh unit over here? All of these devices are Wi-Fi. I should move it over here and direct connect it to my computer. Forgetting, Jill, stupidly, that it's already direct connected, right? I had
hardwired.
I had a lapse in just memory or something. And so I moved the mesh unit over here, and then that wire goes directly into the mesh unit. And so basically it creates this traffic jam, and I start having these random internet issues that I've been having for several shows now, where things will go really slow and then super fast. And the whole time I thought it was AT&T, and it's just my stupidity. So
I was going to blame it on the ether noodles, but this time it's Ryan's noodle.
Ryan's noodle failed, Jill. And so I don't know why this all happened. Overly complicated setup, trying to set up too many computers, and then forgetting that this is the room that's hardwired. I don't know, Joe. I don't have a good excuse, Joe. I really don't. So anyways, I invite our listeners, if you have a tech story where you messed up, made a mistake, you're supposed to be the one who knows this stuff, send it in to make me feel better. Send it into our comments. Make me feel better that I'm not the only one that makes silly mistakes there. And that would be very helpful. But my son is taking computer science. When he was 5 years old, we built a computer together. but he doesn't remember that very much. And so I used that as an excuse. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, if he really wants to get in computer science, we need to build a computer. And I haven't built a computer in a really long time. And me and my son could build a computer together. And what a bonding moment that would be. Anyway, she
Yes.
bought this story. And now I have a new machine coming, and I'm very excited about it. Do you want to know the specs,
Oh,
Jill?
yes, I absolutely do. You're going Team Blue this time.
I am. I'm going Intel. Why? Is Intel the best option for home gaming, all that stuff? It's debatable, right? Most people are
Yeah.
going with AMD, especially when it comes to price per value. But there's been some really good deals on Intel right now. So I have the Intel Core Ultra 7 265KF. So the KF version doesn't come with the integrated graphics. The K version does. I don't need the integrated
You don't
graphics
need
because I'm going to reuse
yeah.
my 6900 XT for now
Nice.
because GPUs are too darn expensive. I'm just not ready to spend that money yet. I went with an ASRock Z890 Pro RS, which again, a lot of this is value based, but a lot of research going into the value stuff to say, are people really enjoying it? What are the reviews on it? Not only tech, but individuals on different sites and things. So all of these things, I actually am using an ASRock here with this build, with the Ryzen 7 build, but it's been relatively, you could see the video, relatively happy with it. I went with some Patriot Viper Venom DDR5. This will be my first time having DDR5 memory in a system. And this is 6,000 megahertz RAM at the CL30. Again, not the best, but a good value. The thing that I'm very excited about is the Leon Lee case, which this will be my second.
Yeah, your second one.
Yeah, because I have currently the small mini ITX Leon Lee stainless steel kind of lunchbox. Now I'm going back to a mid tower, and this particular mid tower is white. It's Leon Lee V100 ATX mid tower PC case, and we're going to go with a Leon Lee PC cooler as well. That is a liquid cooler that kit in there. So I won't do a custom this time. And we'll get it all set up. It's going to be here in a few days. And hopefully by next week, I'll be running Arch on that brand new processor right there.
Oh, sweet. And I'm glad you went with an ASRock motherboard. Those are really good. Uh, um, they're a little cheaper than some of the others like ASUS and MSI, but they come with all the features. And when they run really well, they run really well. I have two machines with ASRock motherboards in them, and they've been stable for years. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
think
one
that was a good
impressed me.
choice.
I'm not a big fan of ASRock typically. They had a bad
Yeah.
reputation for a while back in the day.
Yes, they sure did.
But like most things, I always say you have to go back and re-explore. ASRock's really turned a corner.
Absolutely.
Now, I know there will be people in the community who probably have horror stories with them. There are people in the community who have horror stories with ASUS and MSI and every other brand out there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, and we'll see how good it is. But right now, every dollar you can save is pretty important. I just can't go out there and buy, spend $1,800 on a machine. So on Newegg, I got all of these components and the power supply, 150 watt power supply, for about $800 on the dot, which is pretty decent deal. So the only thing I'm missing is a GPU for that. Everything else would be brand new. And so we'll see what we do with this secondary system here.
Oh, that's sweet, Ryan. Actually, speaking of which, I am running an ASRock Intel Arc A770. And as you know, I've been running that now a few years, and it's been running beautifully. The
Very
ASRock
nice.
GPUs are really great. They're quiet. I always get the ones with 3 fans in them, but they are very, very quiet. And it's been running like a top.
Yeah.
All these years.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You can have a bad experience with a brand and never go back, and I get that.
Because you
Totally
can get
that.
a dud. It happens.
But this one has been running for 4 or 5 years, and it's been solid as a rock, no issues.
Yeah.
The Trident RAM, however, that
Yeah.
didn't. I don't know what the life cycle is on RAM. but
Yeah.
I assume it's usually longer than 4 or 5 years. But,
It usually is, but things happen. It
I
could
think
even
things
be
happen,
something
and there's a
as
lot of heat
simple.
sinks on this. RAM gets way hotter than it used to.
Oh, that's another good point. And then also, you're in a more humid environment now, and
Mhm.
that can really affect RAM as
That's a
well.
good point. I didn't think about that. So, a lot of different things going on. Still outages going on, by the way,
Yeah.
with AT&T and stuff. So I don't know that I've switched everything back. I don't know. Maybe my internet issues weren't even my fault, Jill.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a dumb setup, but it was working, and the outages are the problem. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm going to go with there.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Are you judging me in your head, Jill? I need to know. Are you judging me a little bit?
No, because I really am not, because there's lots of issues at play, and it may not be all Ryan.
There you go. Thanks, Jill. I still know you're judging me. I know you judge me a little bit on that one, right? Like just a tiny bit. All right. Let's talk about something fun. I'm really, really excited about this, and I think you guys will be too. Canonical, the company that makes the popular Ubuntu Linux operating system, has officially
Yay.
launched the Canonical Academy.
Woohoo.
Now, this is a new official certification platform for the first time now. You can get certified directly by the creators of Ubuntu to prove your professional skills. So it's not one of those certifications where you're sitting there learning 8,000 acronyms and that's the whole test. You're actually putting your skills to the test here, which this is awesome. This is like getting certified from Windows or getting certified from Red Hat, except it's for Ubuntu this time, which I'm very, very excited about. And this one is laser focused on hands-on skills that you can actually use in a real job rather than, again, just memorizing theory and stuff, which I think makes a huge difference. Jill, when I saw this, maybe I'm just super nerd, but I got really excited. Like, I want to take all of these certifications and get certified for them. What were your thoughts on this?
Absolutely the same. And in fact, this is something actually the Linux community has been wanting for a very long time. We even had talks at the Southern California Linux Expo
Oh,
on
really?
hopefully Ubuntu having an official testing service in Canonical. So, Ubuntu is
Hmm.
the most popular Linux distro in the world, and it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It really does. And it will be, I was also thinking, this is how huge this is. It's another platform other than Red Hat and SUSE that has certification and education.
Yeah.
And if you think of the how cool this is, that it would be so nice to go to a physical bookstore like Barnes and Noble and see the Ubuntu sysadmin training books next to the Red
Mm,
Hat ones.
yeah.
I was thinking it's a game changer, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Jill,
is
when I go into
really
a
awesome.
bookstore, the first section I go into is the whole programming section.
Yeah,
Like, I'm such a
see what
nerd.
Linux.
Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't fathom. I like fiction, but I couldn't fathom wasting my time reading like about, I don't know, dwarves and knights and elves when I could be learning something geeky. So my family will head in different directions for different types of books, but I'm straight to
Yeah,
the IT section. Like, I want to look at the certification books, the programming books, and all this stuff. The
same here.
problem that I have is if you've gone into a Barnes and Noble recently, and there's not a lot of them left here in the United States, but if you go to one, the cost of these books is like triple, and they were already really expensive.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you could go on Amazon, which is not my favorite platform. I'm not a huge fan of Amazon.
Yeah.
uh, you could get it for half the price. So it's
Mhm.
like, it's really hard to support Barnes and Noble, even though I want to support Barnes and Noble because of the price of these books and things. Anyway, sorry, went on a little tangent, but that's just what I was thinking because I love the smell of a bookstore.
Oh,
Bookstore and
yeah,
coffee.
absolutely.
Oh, it's heaven.
And for those of us like that are old school, I mean, There was no such thing as the internet when when I was in school. So, yeah, you had to have the physical book, and I still find studying easier with a physical
Yeah.
item. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I do the same thing. In fact,
Yeah.
recently learning something new, went and grabbed a book instead of just doing an online classes with it because I just
Yeah.
like to go through the book and then test the different code and things that I can see in that book and test it out that way versus for whatever reason, I could do that on a website. But there's something about having that book there in front of me that gives me comfort. It's just the way I was, the
Yeah,
way I learned things
absolutely.
in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's cool that this is it's self-paced and you can do it on your own schedule and it's modular and that's it's just makes it so easy to take the tests.
Yeah. No high pressure exam, which I
Yeah.
think is what most people are so broken from testing that the thing that keeps them from going and doing stuff like this is the test. They're like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I'm going to have to sit there and memorize all of this theory and all of these buzzwords and stuff. And I just can't fathom sitting there being a proctored exam and then spending that money and then losing that money because you didn't pass it, you didn't memorize everything perfectly. And I think people freak out over that. But the fact that you have the self-paced thing is a plus and a minus. The plus is you could do it on your own time. The
Yeah.
minus is a lot of people have great intentions to start these self-paced things and then never complete them because of
Never
that. So
complete them.
yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to really set yourself a goal of saying, hey, I'm going to be certified by this date. And so it's really good with these kind of self-paced things to set a date and say, this is the date I will be completed by. And then go ahead and make the purchase and stick to that platform. So even though it's self-paced, you're kind of forcing yourself to learn it within a certain period of time. You can make that time comfortable, but
Mhm.
a lot of times people don't complete these things. The certification exams are timed, but they're taken in a cloud-based environment that simulates real-world challenges, which is really nice. So again,
Mhm.
you're not sitting there answering A through D on that type of stuff. Well, you may, but it's going to be based on real-world things. And it sounds like in a cloud environment, you're actually going to be typing in the commands and things to prove that you know them, which also makes it more valuable for an employer because I don't really
Yeah.
care if an employee knows all the theory in the world and can talk a really good game. I want to know that they can actually do this stuff and actually know how the commands work. So, like the system administrator track is based on the latest Ubuntu 24.04 LTS and includes exams like using the Linux terminal, using
Mhm.
Ubuntu desktop, using the Ubuntu server, and managing complex systems, which is still under development. Right now, I was able to, Jill and I were testing before the show, and the desktop one looks like it's free. It's usually $100, but it's free right now. It shows up as
Yay.
$0. It gave me an error with a VAT tax, and then I went back and it was sitting right there in my, classes to take through there.
Nice.
So definitely something that I think you should at least do that one because it costs nothing and get started towards that. And if you like it, then you could move towards the whole system administrator track, which would look really impressive on a resume and help you with future career. A lot of people right
Mhm.
now struggling to figure out what their next job's going to be. And there are a lot of people who hate their job and they want to be an open source. And so this kind of is a great way to motivate you to go take these exams. And if not these, Red Hat or any of the others. But this one, it looks very welcoming. Like it's
Yeah.
not overly complicated with, you got to take 18 classes to finish each one. Self-paced. A lot of the document and training guides and stuff are already out there. So it's very Ubuntu. It's very user friendly in that way.
Yeah. And they're actively looking for testers and subject matter experts. So they want feedback from the community to help shape the future of the courses, which I think is tremendous. that's
Yeah,
that's that's wonderful. And that's in the Ubuntu ethos, that community spirit.
right.
It's awesome.
I like that they have the beta testers and the subject matter experts thing in here. And what's good about
Yeah.
that is that can also go on your resume. So
Yes.
You could go take
Absolutely.
this test, see if you know all the stuff, and then sign up as a beta tester, or sign up for as a beta tester first, and then take some of the stuff, and then come in as a SME. But all of that can go on your resume, that you were a beta tester, that you were a SME for this exam, that you passed the exam. I think it looks really good for everyone to see that from an employer, to see that from an employee, that they took that initiative. The
Yeah.
entire program is built to make you ready for the actual challenges you're going to face, making you a more attractive
Mhm.
candidate to the tech market. What else do you want to say about it? I think people should
Mhm.
check this out. Each exam looks like it's about $100 currently. That's subject to change because that's really cheap.
Yeah, that's inexpensive.
Like, if you look at some of these REL certifications and stuff, they are
Yeah.
thousands of dollars. So might be a good time to get in your foot in the door here with this one and see what you're made of there. Get in that terminal. Show them what you're working with.
Yeah, that absolutely. And I think it's also awesome that Canonical has already planned course updates for the Academy for the upcoming Ubuntu 26.04 LTS, which is expected in September 2026. So they're on top of it. They're going to keep that current.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great from their aspect, but also
Yeah.
there's not a huge amount of changes with the stuff that they're covering here between those. So it's not like if you got the 2404 one, you suddenly all your information you learned will be outdated in the next LTS one. They're just kind of updating the coursework to be the most current. But as far as the knowledge you gain, it's useful in the rest of the
Yeah,
future. Like, it's
absolutely.
great. All right, Jill, there's more exciting
Yeah.
news right now coming out. Tell us what you
Oh,
brought to the table this
so
week.
there is. So on September 25th, System 76 launched Pop! OS 24.04 long-term support with the new Rust-based Cosmic Desktop Beta. And I had received the press release for the beta before the official announcement and upgraded one of my Pop! OS machines that day. I had to. And my installation went smooth and it has been working great ever since. And so I wanted to give you a few highlights of the Cosmic Beta. It's built
Mhm.
on Linux kernel 6.16.3, Mesa 25.1.5-1, and the NVIDIA ISO includes NVIDIA driver 580. And the new Cosmic desktop environment developed by System 76 is largely feature complete for this first release. That's saying something.
Mhm.
And I wanted to point out that several GNOME applications have been replaced by their new Cosmic counterparts because, of course, GNOME Files Nautilus is replaced by Cosmic Files. GNOME Terminal is replaced by Cosmic Terminal. GNOME Text Editor is
Let me guess.
replaced by
Cosmic Text
Cosmic
Editor.
Text Editor. You got it
Oh,
right.
wow. This is like the KDE thing where they put a K in front of everything. They
Yes.
just put Cosmic in front of it.
But the thing is that these are written from scratch. These are their
That's true.
very own applications. And
Yeah.
the GNOME Media Player Totem is replaced by the Cosmic Media Player, which I got to see on display at the Southern California Linux Expo in March. That's where Carl Reichel demoed the new Cosmic Media Player, and it's running really well.
Yeah.
And the Pop Shop is replaced by the Cosmic
Cosmic.
Store, of course.
Got it. Very cool. Well, I like that they have their own file manager, terminal, text editor, all of that. They
Yeah.
didn't get too creative with the names, which is fine. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. I wonder how much of it was borrowed code. You know, it is open source code. There's nothing wrong
Yes,
with that. But I would imagine they borrowed
absolutely.
a
Oh,
lot of
I'm sure
code
they
from
did.
different file managers they like, maybe Dolphin, maybe Nautilus,
Yeah.
different terminal emulators and things like that. But it's cool to put your own theme on things and put your own spin on them to make you work with your environment. And that's what System 76 does really well in these cases. So very exciting. I
Yeah.
played with Cosmic Desktop Environment for
Mhm.
several months when
Yeah, you
they
did.
first came out with their alpha and loved it. It's just,
Yeah.
it felt feature complete nearly back then. So I can't imagine how close it is now.
Oh, it's been an amazing experience. In fact, I just recently installed it on another machine because I keep updating all my machines that had Cosmic
Mm-hmm.
on them in Pop! OS. So there's another thing. Not only do we have the beta, there's lots of news right now coming out of System
There's more?
76. Yes.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. So at Ubuntu Summit 25.10 last week, founder and CEO of System 76, Carl Reichel, announced a wonderful new feature coming to Cosmic Sync. Cosmic Sync is really going to be a game changer for those of us that run Cosmic Desktop on multiple devices, no matter what Linux distro you are using. And yes, I said that correctly, no matter what Linux distro you are using. Cosmic Sync is an open source, powerful synchronization tool developed by System 76 to make an entire Linux desktop configuration consistent across multiple computers and Linux distributions. And what's really cool is a System 76 customer survey results revealed a high demand for synchronization. 73% of customers regularly use more than one computer. And a significant number also want to sync installed applications. And that number was 62% of those surveyed. And dot files was 60% of those surveys. And what's going to be really easy and cool is all you have to do to activate synchronization is to log in to your System 76 account on a system you want to synchronize, and the new device instantly adopts the configuration of the other.
Interesting. So are they storing this in the cloud? Like that's very, very
I'm
interesting.
assuming that, but it's all secure, which our community is going to be very happy about. So
if it's just the dot files and it's not your personal data, I guess it really doesn't matter as far as the security side of it goes, right? Because maybe they're just storing kind of the configuration choices, and then I don't know. I would like to see how this works. It sounds really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical when it's like sign into your System 76 account. I was kind of hoping it would be something, where I could just save that stuff and sync it on my own without my own services or whatever, without their account. And maybe you can use it for that. We'll have to learn more about it, but it's still a very cool concept because if System 76 can get this right, this kind of puts them in a different category, even though there are certain distros, desktop environments that this is easy to do with. And there are certain ones where it's not easy at all. KDE would be one of them, to move between all the dot files and everything between systems. And we'll write different applications to try to do it, but it's kind of clunky. Doesn't work all the time, all that type of stuff. So if they can make this work, to me, this gives System 76 a real leg up for people who are doing mass deployments and, they spend a lot of time customizing their systems. They want that same customization theme across all of their computers. Really, really important thing. And it's a pain in the butt to set this up on every single machine. I mean, imagine how long it takes me to change the Batman wallpaper on every machine that I get new. Takes minutes. No, I'm kidding.
Minutes. I know.
For me, it
Ryan
maybe doesn't
is
help
so good
so
at customization.
Yeah. For me, maybe not the most important feature, but for everybody else who likes to customize, window maker, people who use i3, those type of things, this thing comes really important. And also Cosmic, all the different changes you make, you could flow across all your machines and have everything running in sync. This is the advantage of Mac OS right now and Windows. You can you set up the account, and then you get a new machine, a new Windows machine, a new Mac. You sign in, and all of your stuff gets synced to that new machine. Yeah. It's a very powerful feature that makes people love their machine because you can instantly get right back into working versus sitting there having to manually reinstall everything and all that stuff. And we have that same kind of thing with our phones, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, what's really amazing is the Cosmic Sync. It syncs custom keyboard shortcuts, not only dot files, but your personal files, your user applications and third-party Cosmic app application preferences, networking settings such as Wi-Fi networks and VPNs, and this is a big deal for developers, and your repositories where you can configure Git repositories and their folders for automatic cloning. That is a big game changer right there. Yeah. And Ryan is going to be so happy about the security.
Yeah, it uses end-to-end encryption, it says, for all the
Yeah.
data. File path names are also encrypted, and personal key is created on the user device and never stored on the server, ensuring
Yes.
System 76 can never decrypt the files.
There you go.
Very,
There's your answer.
very interesting. So they are doing personal files and so
Yeah.
essentially System 76 is looking to become a little bit of a cloud provider.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering from this. Yes.
Wow. I don't know. I haven't had time to process this, Jill. Like
Yes.
when we
So much.
talked about it in the pre-show, I really thought it was just kind of like a sync app where you could,
No.
hey, I've got
Yeah.
another laptop. Let me just create a quick connection and then it's going to move my .files over and that's it. Like a
Apple
local
did,
thing.
with their
But
OS.
yeah,
Yeah.
but now we're talking about System 76 being kind of a sync server that you
Uh-huh.
would basically get a new machine, log in, and then it pulls all of that stuff down. Now they talk about it being encrypted and that they could never see the stuff. So they're doing everything right from that aspect. And I assume, as everything, it will be open source so people can audit it and make sure all of
Yeah.
that type of stuff is happening. But I don't know. I'm
This is
on the fence on
exciting.
this, Jill. Like, that's a lot of data to trust to throw up in the cloud if you include your personal files.
Yeah.
Files, I could
Yeah.
care less.
Yeah.
But if you include your personal files, that's really interesting. I mean, I trust System 76. I love System 76.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does
Of
that
course.
mean they'll be kind of like the new Mega or the new Google Drive eventually
Ooh,
too? Like, are you going to buy
that's
space? How many systems can you sync? How
awesome.
many personal files can you put up there?
That's,
Like,
good thought.
is it a monthly fee? Will it be
Yeah.
free? I've got so many questions now,
Yes.
Jill.
Well, that's why we have to have Carl Rickel back on again. He's so
Yes.
awesome, especially when the final version of Pop OS Cosmic comes out.
I
And
like it.
the other cool thing is Cosmic Sync is granular, so you can choose which settings to synchronize. So if you don't want to send them your personal files, you don't have to. And Ryan, it is atomic and allows you to easily roll back configuration changes if there are any issues. So it just seems like they've thought about everything. And I want to say again, don't forget Cosmic Sync works across all Linux distributions that run the Cosmic desktop, like Fedora and of course Pop OS. And I'm hoping in the future it'll be desktop agnostic, so you can use any desktop and use Cosmic Sync.
Well, yeah,
And who
I
knows,
mean,
that may be their what they were thinking about in the future.
yeah, if you use, I don't know what they're using for this, but if it was something like Time Shift or something that's creating a
Yeah.
snapshot or whatnot, you could also roll back your system. So you have a
Yeah.
major system failure. You could roll back your system using System 76's Cosmic Sync. And there's a lot of advantages to this. Look,
Yeah.
Mac and Microsoft aren't stupid. They know that a lot of people like this type of thing. And we're so used in the Linux community to suffering somewhat when we get a new machine.
Yeah.
Not suffering as much as a Windows user setting up Windows from scratch, but if you
slow.
but we're used to a little bit of suffering and we kind of like it. Like I like the feeling of getting a new machine and resetting everything up and choosing what I install on it and stuff. What I
Yeah.
don't like is when I do custom shortcuts and all of that type of stuff, having to reset up
You got to
that
copy them all
stuff.
over. Yeah.
OBS, setting up all the different
Ugh.
scenes again and equipment for OBS is a pain. And of course you can copy those configs
Yeah.
so that you can move them over. But I generally don't. The only thing I back up is like my personal files and
Yeah.
my configurations. I typically don't. I should. I just don't. So,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
this is going to be such a time saver. Oh my goodness gracious, it will be.
Yeah.
And Cosmic Sync is scheduled to arrive in 2026. But before that, there's something else really big that's going to be
What?
arriving. Some more cosmic news.
Okay.
So Carl Rickel also announced the date for the stable Cosmic final release at this year's
Uh-oh.
Ubuntu Summit, which is December 11th, 2025, for the
Whoa.
Cosmic final stable release.
That's like about a month away.
Yeah, I know. That's why we've got to have him on again soon to talk about it.
That's huge.
Yes.
That's huge.
And I wanted to
Wow.
thank Luna in our Discord chat for posting Ubuntu Summit news and highlights and the cosmic release date from Carl's talk. So,
Awesome.
yeah, they've been
Thank you,
posting
Luna.
all over the place on our Discord. So
Get
that's been awesome.
fantastic community support. You guys don't realize how many times you're finding stuff. I mean, we go out,
Yeah.
we're constantly looking at the news and all of that, but our community keeps us updated on incredible things going on. So we're so thankful for that. And don't assume we know. A lot of times we
Yeah.
don't. Like,
Yeah.
so if you think something's interesting, share it in our Discord with us. Tag us on one of the social media sites. I'm on Mastodon. Jill's on Mastodon. We're on X and
Blue
what's the other
Sky.
Blue Sky thing?
Yeah.
So
And
we're on all of those. So tag us.
Instagram, Facebook. I'm on all
No,
of them.
I'm not on any of that crap.
Yeah.
You won't be able to tag me on that crap. But Jill, maybe, but not
Yeah.
me. You never find me on that junk.
Well, make sure also to check out our awesome interview with Carl Rickel on Destination Linux number 416. It was awesome interview.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to reach out to Carl, see if come back on and talk to us
Yeah,
about the sync.
absolutely.
I want to know what their plan is for the monthly subscription costs, because I don't know. I dig this idea. I like the encryption system that they're using, where they can't get the key, like they have no access to your key, because they're in the U.S. and the U.S. privacy laws not very strong. So you don't want a system in which they're compelled by the government to expose certain files if they suspect you're doing XYZ or whatever. But if they don't have a choice, zero knowledge, then they don't have an ability to do it. I like that. I dig it. I wonder how that will work against all the laws and stuff, and what kind of things they're going to face because of that. Because like I said, the US doesn't protect that all the time. US government wants to have its fingers in every server and everything you do. That's its thing. Jill, we haven't
Yes.
covered gaming in forever.
Yay, we haven't in a long time. I love it.
And there's a really exciting game. Like, I was so excited about this. Do you want to talk about it, or you want me to kick it off? What do you want to do with this game? Because I'm going to burst.
Yeah, won't you go ahead?
All right. So to do this game service, I have to kind of take you back. So I worked in my dad's small computer shop, and we sold computers mostly to businesses and things. And computers were really expensive when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Between $3,000 to $5,000
Yes.
to get a machine. So barely people had them in their homes, but it was rare to have them in your home. My dad was always on the cutting edge of programming. He had, worked with an individual that is very well known for some of their work. I'm not going to give out names and all that stuff, but they were partners together. They built some incredible things. Even some of the first AI, I remember him demoing at a mall that would talk to you with a face and all this 3D stuff and things. But what my dad wasn't was a gamer. He didn't have time for games. And when he would see my brother playing, like, we had a Nintendo at the time, his big thing is he would walk by and he'd be like, it's not VGA graphics. It's not VGA level graphics, right? And so that was his big thing. Or it's not 16-bit. That's not 16-bit. We have 16-bit on computers. That's not 16-bit graphics, whatever. All these different things. Like, he was just never impressed with that stuff, because to him, computers were way better. We were like, thanks, Dad. We don't have $3,000 to have a personal computer at home. So, doesn't matter. But there was one game that got my dad's attention. I remember walking into the office and I was shocked. He was sitting in a chair and he's sitting there playing a game with his partner, his business partner. And that game was named Wolfenstein 3D. And he was like, son, come over here. Check this out. And he and them were over there trying to play a game for the first time, probably ever. And they're going through these hallways, these 3D hallways, and killing Nazis. And this is so freaking cool, this game. And I couldn't believe it. And then when I got my chance to play this game, I just couldn't put it down. And it was shareware, as I recall, where basically you got a free certain amount of levels on this little floppy disk, and then you could pay to get more. I never paid, I don't think, ever to get more, Jill. I just played the shareware version of the game, which was plenty fun. There was so much in this game. It was really kind of the first person shooter, 3D first person shooter. It had tons of secrets, secret areas you could get into. It had tons of different weapons. And I mentioned you get to kill Nazis. I mean, that's fun. It was everything you would want in a game. And I have very fond memories of it. So now fast forward to Sunday morning. I'm sitting in bed. I wake up. I'm just like the Disney princess. I have a bunch of birds land on my finger, and then they bring me my coffee, and the squirrels come in. All this stuff. That's what happens.
Having a great morning, a
Yeah, it
magical
was a
morning.
great morning. Great morning. And I'm going through my feed, and someone's like, "Can't wait to play Darkenstein 3D," and I see this image of this game, and I click on it, and it looks like Wolfenstein 3D but updated. And I'm watching this trailer with this heavy metal track, with this first person shooter killing Nazis. I'm like, let's go. I shot up out of bed, went to see if the game's available on Steam. It was, so I was lucky because the post I had seen was like from 2 days before it officially released, and released like literally 2 days before I saw this post. And so I downloaded it and I went live and I started streaming the game, and I was so happy playing this game. It was so much fun. And Jill showed up, and different people from the community showed up on this random stream that I randomly decide to stream after, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months. I don't know the last time I did a game. I did some Red Hat stuff. I don't remember the last time I did like a game on
At
stream.
least
It's probably
a year,
been
I think.
a long time. So that's Darkenstein 3D is the game. As the name suggests, it's kind of a direct nod to Wolfenstein 3D. The game describes itself like this: a retro shooter inspired by classics like Wolfenstein and Doom. Think of it as a tribute, a love letter to the games that defined a generation, with a few modern touches of my own. It's tough, it's fast, and demands skill. Just the way those old school shooters did. And even though it doesn't have official Linux support, Proton makes all things possible. So does Arch. And I streamed it. So I played it in Arch for people, because if you didn't know, I run Arch, by the way, again. So off of my Ubuntu machine. And Arch played it beautifully, Jill. Played it absolutely beautiful.
It sure did. It was so much fun watching Ryan play and stream the game on his DOS Geek channel on Sunday morning. It was a delight, because I knew immediately, oh, that's the game we're going to cover in the next episode.
You're like, Ryan won't be able to help himself. He's going to bring it right forward into the show.
Yeah. And that Darkenstein 3D game is a Quake, Doom, Wolfenstein, Unreal love letter. Absolutely. And I also geeked out when I heard Extra Life in the game, and the Serious Sam love, also with the map design and environments and lots of lava, which a lot of those first-person shooters had back in the day.
Lots of lava. Yep.
Lots of lava, but Serious Sam is almost all lava in some parts. But to hear Extra Life, I got nerd chills.
Oh, love it.
And I just wish we could play Darkenstein in multiplayer with friends, so I could play it with Ryan in the future.
Man, that's a great idea, cool. Jill.
Yeah. And I also wanted to mention a little bit of my Wolfenstein history. Well, Castle Wolfenstein, I played on me and my brother's BBS back in the early to mid 1980s. On my Apple II, my Atari, my C64, and on DOS. I played it on all the things. And Wolfenstein 3D, I actually played for my students in my 3D animation class in May of 1992. In fact, I found my syllabus for this.
Wow, really? How awesome.
When the game was new. And it was really one of the greatest video games ever made at that time. And really popularized the first-person shooter genre. I mean, it took Doom to another, and Quake, and to another level, because all of a sudden it was ID software, and it was everywhere at all the stores you could get it, and all the kids were
Mhm.
playing it. And one of the reasons I wanted to show my students Wolfenstein 3D, because it was important to demonstrate to my students to encourage them to learn code as well as do animation. Well, all the animation programs at that time had the ability to create scripts, to generate animation, and bring in code from outside sources. And some of the programs, you actually just typed code to make your animation. So it was something, it was definitely, so for my students, I wanted them also encourage them to get into computer science so they can not just learn the art side, but the code side, and which I taught both in my class, especially in those earlier years when we were using like C and assembly. I was using all kind of code in my animations for my personal work. So it's really was really important to learn that. And Wolfenstein 3D was kind of the impetus, was that turning point where the students were getting excited about, oh, I can make a video game learning this code in animation class, you know?
Yeah. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
So, when you look at that game, Jill, and you think about the
Mhm.
games that came prior,
Yeah.
Wolfenstein kind of establishing that first 3D FPS kind of shooter. We talked about this on my stream. I wasn't aware of
Oh.
Castle Wolfenstein at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't aware of it when you mentioned it to me on the stream that it even existed. I thought
Mhm.
Wolfenstein 3D was the first Wolfenstein to exist because that's the first one that ever came across
Yeah.
my
Yeah, your
my
radar.
purview and radar. But there is a new Castle Wolfenstein, of course,
Yeah.
out there, which
Yeah.
is completely AAA graphics and all of that. But what was the first Castle Wolfenstein like? Was it 3D?
No,
Was it?
2D.
It was
Yeah.
just like a one or
Yeah,
2D
top view,
platformer scrolling.
TD. Yeah.
Very
Because
interesting.
it had to be able to play on the Apple II, and it was very simple graphics.
Was it a well
And
received game when it came out?
it was, because it was the first one of the first, it was kind of one of the first big games actually for the Atari. I remember in the C64, but it wasn't, again, you were a computer nerd and geek, that was, you had to be able to have a computer, which most people didn't have at the time. So it was still kind of niche. It wasn't, not everyone had computers or had Castle Wolfenstein.
So the original Return to Wolfenstein, did that release in about 1981?
Yeah.
Is that right?
81,
Okay, so I'm
82.
looking at a
Yeah.
screenshot of it and oh my gosh, it
Yeah.
looks like the original Donkey Kong. Like it's
Yeah, it does
that
kind of.
bad of
Yeah.
graphics.
Yeah.
This is completely different. Like to think
Yeah.
of the generational jump in
Yeah.
capability and graphics and everything between that. It makes you wonder, is the same creator of Castle Wolfenstein the same people who created Wolfenstein 3D? I know the company is, but I wonder if the developers were the same.
Mm. I I don't remember. I can't remember that, but I know John Carmack. He created Doom and Quake, was one of the original creators, and then he went on to create ID Software, which made Wolfenstein 3D. Now,
Right.
Castle Wolfenstein, I think, was a different development team. I just kind
Because
of
it
have that
just made me
feeling, but I
think, the
can
reason why I
check.
was asking is how interesting would it be if in their mind in 1981 they were seeing this game where you were going around the corridors of a Nazi hideout and being able to shoot them in 3D, but all you could code was this Donkey Kong looking blocky thing.
Yeah,
And then when the time came and the technology was there, all of a sudden you're able to bring this thing in your mind to reality of just, completely 3D Gatling gun
yeah.
Nazi killing shooter, you know?
So I was right. It actually was developed by Silas Warner for the Apple II and published by Muse Software in 1981. So
Interesting.
yeah.
It kind of switched hands
Mm-hmm.
there throughout. Very, very cool. Wolfenstein is something that will always live in my heart as a special moment of being able to see my dad get excited about a game.
Yeah,
and
that's
share it with his
cool.
friends. But also, it was very exciting for me to share with my friends and have them come into the store and like, look at this game. Look at this game. It was a game changer,
Mhm.
no pun intended. And it eventually led me to playing one of my favorite games probably of all time. I was most addicted to was a game called Ultima Online. So because it got me into computer
Oh.
gaming, eventually led me to Ultima Online, which is some of my fondest memories ever playing a game. That and EverQuest,
Mm.
which I'll never get
Yes,
back because now I have a
EverQuest.
family and a life and all of that. So unless I get reincarnated back as a kid again, I'll never get to relive those moments of just sitting there and gaming. But those are some very fond memories that I have. So
Oh,
very
that's
cool. It's very cool. And
wonderful.
I'm hoping to stream more. I want to actually complete the game on stream. So maybe Sunday, look out for, this will be coming out on next, but I probably won't beat it by this Sunday. But every Sunday, I'm going to try to stream it a little bit. I'm going to
Oh,
try my
cool,
best.
Ryan.
All right, Jill, what's in our software pick this week?
Okay, so if you're excited about all the cool things AI can do, but don't want to sacrifice your privacy, then our software spotlight this week might help. A lot of people are self hosting their own Llama servers to keep things private while still having many of the cool features of commercial AI. Our spotlight this week is Reins, Chat for Ollama, and it is a powerful chat client for your self hosted Ollama AI models. You can connect remotely, customize prompts, adjust parameters, and manage multiple conversations with ease. It's like your own personal chat GPT interface. It really is. And Reigns, the cool key features are you can connect to remote Ollama servers, customize system prompts per chat, edit and regenerate responses, send images, fine tune model parameters such as temperature, context size, etc., for each chat. You can switch models mid conversation. That's a nice feature. Create custom models from chats and use real time message streaming. And Reigns does all that, and it is available as a handy flat pack over at flathub.org. This is an awesome piece of software that Ryan found.
Super, super cool because, I see a lot of people talking about, not even just in the Linux community, but self hosting their own Llama and AI interfaces because they don't want to be stuck in the commercial ones. They don't want to pay
Yeah.
the subscription fee, and plus, the stuff that they want to research and stuff. They don't want all that information being used, the advertising being sold on them, all of these things going on. And there was a really interesting video out there done by the Nexus Gamer that really people need to
Mm.
check out. He did this video where he talks about the AI bubble. The
Oh,
video,
yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Yes.
he's talking about
Yeah.
NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD specifically. Jill, if you could try to look up, or we'll try to put it in the show notes if we can't find the name of it so people can go check it out. But in it, he talks about and he brings receipts of how NVIDIA is best. And I'm going to just make up numbers here, but you can get the video, get the full context. But essentially, NVIDIA invests $30 billion in AMD, and AMD says, well, we'll buy $30 billion worth of something from NVIDIA. And then NVIDIA goes to ChatGPT and says, we'll buy $30 billion worth of your stuff. And ChatGPT says, we'll buy $30 billion worth of your stuff. And what it's showing is that it's the same money that keeps moving in this circle.
Yeah.
And every
Yeah.
time they keep making these announcements, their stock goes up. But the money never actually has moved hands. And so he's kind of on this precipice of saying, like, hey, remember the .com bubble? We may be going through an AI bubble. Remember, ChatGPT doesn't make any money yet. And so we really don't know what the financial feasibility of this is going to be in the future. But I do know this, Jill. AI as a large language model, not actual artificial intelligence, but as a large language, is very useful for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was talking
Absolutely.
about before, I love, in my latest video, I talk about the fact that I love the idea of having this locally instead of in a cloud. And so then you look at something like this, and now you have that kind of same feeling because you get that nice screen interface, chat options, all those features that you can fine tune and stuff through this interface that you put on top of Llama. And now you've got a fully viable private AI solution right there, which is really cool. So even when the AI bubble pops, and it's gonna pop, you'll still be, riding your own sweet wave with your own personal model that you customize for your own personal needs, which will be pretty cool.
.com pop, AI pop,
AI pop.
yeah.
I know there's a lot of people in the audience that are excited about the idea of AI exploding entirely.
Yes.
There's some who are probably on the fence. Like I said, I think AI is useful, but I think it's been oversold a lot, a lot. And so Gamers Nexus does amazing content. One day we're going to have him on this show, hopefully.
Steve,
and we'll talk to him.
Please join us.
Yeah, I would love to pick his brain about some of the stuff that he sees. And he does real good journalistic reporting in the tech sector.
He sure does.
Because he is very picky, rarely has a sponsor, and has his community support, he's able to say a lot of things that other tech YouTubers won't, which I think is very, very powerful. That's it. That's our show. Jill, we went over an hour. We were worried with just two of us that we wouldn't have an hour's worth of content. But here we are. Turns out we can talk a lot.
Yes.
We have the gift of gab. That's our thing. Speaking of amazing communities and support, this show wouldn't exist without you, and especially our patrons that support us each and every week. We are very, very picky about who we let sponsor this show. When we bring you a sponsor, as we mentioned before, they've been thoroughly vetted. They're the best. DigitalOcean, all of that stuff that we Bitwarden, and of course now Sandfly. But there's also our patrons who are there the whole time keeping this show. So if you can support the show, if you enjoy this show, become a member for a month or two. You don't have to keep it going forever. Help support this show and help us be able to continue to bring you this content. So a huge thank you to each and every one of you for watching or listening to Destination Linux. However you do it, we love your faces. You can come join us on our Discord by going to tuxdigital.com/Discord, where you can just say, I love Linux, and instantly have thousands of friends that also share that in common with you.
And you can watch the show live as well. We've got one of our favorite and beloved patrons right now, Chris, in the house.
Yep, Chris is always here. A staple of our community, Chris is. Always here, always on, no matter how late we are too, which I appreciate. Appreciate it very much.
And we have a merch store too at tuxdigital.com/store. And you can get shirts like the one I am wearing, my Destination Linux shirt.
Very nice shirt. Miami Dolphin teal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have so many Destination Linux shirts. I think I have over 20 in different colors.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And make sure to check out all the amazing shows here on Tux Digital. That's right. We have an entire network of shows to fill your whole week with geeky goodness. Head to tuxdigital.com to keep those Linux penguins marching and watch Ryan Das Geek's Darkenstein 3D game stream, and this Sunday and hopefully the next Sunday too.
There you go. And that's DASGEEK, Das Geek channel. Go check it out on the YouTube.
And also his other awesome videos he has released recently on his channel, like his Microsoft Copilot and Atlas web browser AI video you did was awesome.
Oh, thank you, Jill. Yes, trying to get more content out there for you because it's been a while because of college, work, podcast network, family, all of that stuff. But finally getting some new content out there on a more regular basis. So hope you enjoy it and appreciate all of your support out there. Jill, we did it. Our first show in the bag. With just me and Jill as hosts. It was amazing. Jill, you're the greatest that's ever been. And everybody else, have a great week. And remember, the journey itself is just as important as the destination. Thank you, everyone.
Love you all.
Most of you. Most of you.